So I'm really excited for 2026. I've got quite a small growing space here, so it's just under 5 metres deep by just under 4.5 metres wide. But I'm really going to try and maximise the amount of food that I can grow in this very small space. I've finally got a space where I can grow my own fruits and vegetables at home. And this space, it's not massive, it's still quite small, but it's the biggest space that I've had at home to grow my own vegetables. And so I'm really excited about 2026. So I've got from the back wall there, all the way along here, and that measures just under 4.5 metres, and then across from one side to the other side where the fence is, that measures just under 5 metres. So it's 448 centimetres to the front, and across it's 498 centimetres. And I'm going to be using metal raised beds to create my growing space in this area here. I'll show you the metal raised beds that I'm going to be using. So this is the largest metal raised bed that I'll be using. It's 180 centimetres from one side to the other and 90 centimetres from front to back. It comes in pieces and you just build it at home. These are two different sections and you just screw them together. So you overlap them, put the screws in, and then it's got these metal braces in the middle. It's got 2 of them, and they're to help stop it from bowing. Once you put all the soil in, it's quite heavy, so it just helps stabilise it. And then it's got these for the corners. And the reason I went for square or rectangular ones was because if I went for the curved ones, I do prefer the look of the curved ones, but if I went for the curved ones, you lose quite a bit of growing space. So where it curves round, you lose all of that growing space. And as this area isn't huge, I wanted to maximise on the space that I would have to grow. I haven't got all the beds yet. I still need to order a couple more. I just ordered a few just so that I could lay them out and see what they look like. So this is a rough sketch of what I'm planning to do. This is along here is where the double garage is, that's ours. Then, so that's single story, so that does produce a bit of shade. I'll just show you the orientation of it. So south is, this way is pointing south, that way is pointing west, this way is pointing north down here, and this way is east. So I've tried drawing it out to see what it would look like, but it's nice actually seeing it physically. So I've ordered a couple of beds and I've built them, but they need readjusting, moving, and then I put some pots along to see what the paths would be like. So my current thought is to leave 68 centimetres along there to the back to walk along, and then the paths in between the beds I was thinking of leaving 35 centimetres, which isn't lots of space, but if you see my foot here, but you can walk comfortably along it to the other end. So I thought that I would do 90 centimetre beds, a row of them here to the end, and then along the back wall 60 centimetre beds, because then I can comfortably get to the back of them. These are 90 centimetres and they're just a little bit too wide. I've tried reaching to the back and it's just a bit too uncomfortable and you have to step onto the bed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those ones and move them and put a row of 60 centimetre beds all the way along here. And then I'll do another row of 90 centimetre beds along here up towards the 60 centimetre bed, and then the same here. I'll do another row of the 90 centimetre beds all the way to the end. And then I've got my water butts here, which I put in with a connector, and they fill up really nicely. So hopefully if we have another dry summer, that will help alleviate some of the watering. And then my plan is where I've put this cane here is I'm going to put another bed, but this one will only be 60 centimetres, just so that I have a wide enough path to walk along the back. And because of the shade that's cast from this wall and this big conifer here, I thought that having the path along the back would be a good idea rather than having the bed butted right up against the wall. And then what I could always do is put a plant in that little corner there, so plant it into the soil. Maybe this, I've got a tayberry, I think it is here. So what I could do is I could move that over towards the corner over there, and then just have it fanning up over the wall. And then this is going to come out, but I'm going to harvest it before I take it out. This is my sprouting broccoli, purple sprouting broccoli. And yeah, I'm quite excited about that. So I planted that last year. It's been in a long time. And so it'd be a shame to take it out until it's finished harvesting. So this bed that goes along here will be the last bed that I put in. I've decided, because our other neighbours have got those big conifers that are along there. We did used to have conifers all the way along the back of our garden as well. What I've decided that I'm going to do is I'll have a path that runs all the way along the back, so that back corner isn't actually going to be growing anything. And then in this bed here, and possibly this one as well, what I might do is I might put something at the bottom of the beds just to stop the roots from their conifers from getting into our bed, taking the nutrients and also taking up the water from those beds. So what I might do is I might just put right at the bottom, because they're 30 centimetres high, those beds. They are deep enough for me to be able to grow in them without having to use the ground underneath them. So I might just put some slabs or something like that right at the bottom of them, just to help stop our neighbours' conifers' roots getting into them. So I might do that in that bed there and that bed there. Their roots do come right out into our garden, because when I've dug down for things, I have seen that. But I thought that would be a good sort of compromise, just to help with that back corner there. And another thing we've got in the garden is a chicken coop. And our plan is, once it warms up a little bit, is to hatch out some chicks and then have some either chicken or some quail in here that we will then have for eggs, which will be quite nice. And the children will really enjoy having those. So I've got just a zippy greenhouse here. I'll show you what's inside. I've got a couple of seedlings. I tried sowing them in December. I know that's not the ideal month, but some of them have come through, so it's better than nothing. I've got some pak choi at the front, some mizuna at the back. I've got some kale that's growing here. It's the dinosaur kale. That's not doing amazingly well, to be honest, but it's okay. Here I have got some Swiss chard. A couple of those have actually come up. And then I've got some more of the green mizuna. I've, at the front, got some spinach. That's done quite well, actually. And then here I've got some cornflowers. They're probably, those and the broad beans are probably doing the best. They all got sown at the same time. Here I have got some calendula. That's done well. It's only got its seed leaves at the moment. So once they get like this and they start getting their true leaves coming through, I do really need to prick these out, and so that I can start growing them on in little plugs, so that I can then plant them out into the beds once I've got those up. Then I've got some sweet peas. These really didn't do very well, so I've actually bought some more sweet pea seeds that I'm going to put in, and they're a Spencer mix that I've got. Got some broad beans here, and they've done well. They've come up. I've got some shallots, then I've got some garlic, and I've got some peas. This is Jeff, he's a 9-month-old Labrador, and he's very nosy. He thinks that there might be food, so he's come to have a look. At the back here I've got some chives. I just dug them up from one of the beds. I've got some sorrel, and I've got some walking onions. I sowed a load of seeds and I didn't really get that many. I put them right in that back corner underneath the conifers, and it got so dry. I think that's why. And then here I've just got some elephant garlic. So next month, once the sunlight increases to about 10 hours a day, I'll then start sowing a load more seeds. But I thought I'd have a go, sow a couple. I had a couple of misses, so whatever I sowed in here didn't come up. Obviously the sweet peas didn't really come up. I only got, how many did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only got 6 from a whole packet of seeds, so that's pretty bad. And then the same with the peas down here. I've only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've only had 7 of those come up, and I sowed 2 per cell. Should have had a load of those. So, yeah, I don't know if the mice got them or whether it was, just sown them at the wrong time. But I will try putting some more in February. I'll leave them in the little greenhouse here, and then see if I do a little bit better with those. But the broad beans are doing well. So if you have a look, it won't be long till I actually need to start planting these out, but they've done really well. I have got a couple of things growing in pots. I've got my raspberries. These are my autumn raspberries, and so I'll cut those back in the spring. Probably, well, just before the spring, probably sort of February, March time, I'll cut them down. So I've also got these strawberry plants here. They're all different varieties. My dog last year decided that he was going to dig out this one, so there aren't many left of this one. I can't remember what the variety is, but the other, I've got a early, a mid, a late and an everbearer. I'm really excited for 2026. So my plans are to, over the next couple of weeks, finalise my design plan and just come to a definite decision about that, because it's changed. I've sort of changed the orientation of the beds, changed the widths of the beds that I've wanted, but I think that I'm getting close to get to the point where I've decided what I want to do. And then once I've finalised that design, I'm going to try over the next couple of weeks get these beds in, get them filled. That's not going to be an easy task, finding all the stuff that needs to go into the bottom of them. And then once I've got them filled, I'm going to try and start growing as quickly as I can, get my broad beans out, get my garlic out, get my onions out. And then I also want to try covering a couple of the beds so that I can get an early start on salad crops and things like that. And then hopefully I'll be able to start harvesting the broccoli down at the end, and then start getting some more greens from the garden. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.